everyone! Today is Friday, April the 7th, and it is the first day of the TomeTopple Readathon. I'm here to do an update because I've decided to do this a little bit differently, so that instead of doing it vlog style, which I have been doing a lot recently, I'm going to stand right here in front of you every second or third day and tell you how everything is going. So today is Friday, as I was saying, and I just got off from work, which means that I haven't read that much yet, but I did manage to read a little bit this morning before I had to go to work in my first book, which is The World According to God by John Irving. When the readathon started, I was on page 187 in the book, and I am now on page 224, and that's all I have managed to read so far. But after having filmed this clip, I'm actually going to the gym, but when I get home from that, I will have the rest of today to read, and actually most of this weekend to really get into this story. And in case you haven't watched my TBR video for this readathon, then these are the books I would love to get to in the upcoming days, at least 3 of them, not all of them. So I will be back again in a few days to let you know how I'm doing. It is now a few days later, and since I last spoke to you, I have finished The World According to God by John Irving. I love this one. And then I've also managed to pick up my next read, which was The Host by Stephanie Meyer, and I am currently on page 158 in this novel. I find that this is such a quick read. So yeah, this is my plans for the upcoming days, to read on in this book, and so far I think I'm doing great in this readathon. I like getting through these tomes, and that's great. Today is Thursday the 13th. Since I last spoke to you, I have made it to page 228 in this book. But then I decided to DNF it, not finish it, simply because I did not like the story, and actually this book made me not want to read, and it frustrated me very much. So I decided to not finish it. Instead, I picked up this one, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, and I'm currently on page, let me see, 232. This one is a whole lot better, and I do want to read it. The only thing is that I have been reading so many big tomes over the past month. Before this readathon started, I, for instance, read this one by Joyce Carol Oates, which is a book of 900 pages, and I've also read a lot of fantasy, which tend to be very long books. So what I'm trying to say is I'm kind of getting fed up with only reading one book at a time because it is so huge. I normally like to mix up my reading smaller books in between. So I might just do that. I might cheat a little bit and read a smaller book while reading this one, but I haven't decided yet. So in my next clip, I guess I will tell you how everything is going. Today is Saturday the 15th, and it is a really rainy day, which is excellent for getting a lot of reading done. Since I last spoke to you, I decided to pick up a smaller book in between the big one I'm reading. So I've actually read and finished Back When We Were Grown-Ups by Anne Tyler, a really good book, and it was just a perfect pick for kind of boosting me to keep on reading my other book, which is of course Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. And I've also managed to read a little bit further in this one, so I'm currently on page 347, and as I said, it's a rainy day, so I plan on spending lots of time inside today with my book. I am now pretty far into this book. I am currently on page 637, which is a natural break in the story because it is divided into 3 books, and I have now finished the first 2. So what I'm trying to say is that once again I'm going to take a little break from this one, and in between I want to read a smaller book. And I've actually already started this book, and that is Gilead by Marilyn Robinson. I started it last night and I got 55 pages into it. And today I'm going to Copenhagen, so of course I'll be bringing this one with me on the train, and I'll have loads of time to read. Actually, I haven't mentioned in my earlier clips that this past week I have been off from work because of Easter, which means that I've had more time to read than I normally would, and that's why I've been able to read this many pages so far. Actually, I don't know how many pages yet. I will find out when I edit this video. That's it for now. I am very curious to get back to this one, and I will see you in my next clip. Today is Wednesday and this readathon is coming to an end. Since I last spoke to you, I have finished the entirety of Gilead by Marilyn Robinson, so that one is down. I know it's not a big tome, but I'm still very happy to have read it because it was nice to read a short story in between the long one, as I usually say. The long one I'm currently reading is obviously still Zeus. I have read a little bit further in this book. I am now on page 760, which means I have a little over 200 pages to go. However, there is currently only a day and a half left of this readathon, so I don't think I will be able to finish it, but my plan is to read as much of this novel as I possibly can in the next day and a half, and then that will be the end of this readathon. So my next clip will be my last clip of this video, and that will be when I tell you all about how much I actually managed to read in the past 2 weeks. The readathon ended late last night by midnight, and I don't know what happened, but I'm so proud of myself because I actually managed to finish this gigantic book. I really didn't think I could do it, but for some reason I did. And that means that I can now cross this off as being a big tome read. And I thought that I would just quickly show you the books I actually managed to read in the past couple of weeks. First of all, I finished The World According to God by John Irving. I had about, I think, 400 pages left of this one. Next, I read about 200 pages of this one before I decided to DNF it. And in between the last tome, I read both Back When We Were Grown-Ups by Anne Tyler, which is, I admit, not a tome, but it was nice to mix up my tomes with smaller books, as well as Gilead by Marilyn Robinson. And then the tome I'm the most proud to have completed in just 2 weeks, and that is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norval. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed these quick updates of mine, and until next video, happy reading.